We had some significant story developments this week in season of the Splicer. So Mithrax has found Quria in the Vex network and we're on a one-way path to fight it. Osiris is still acting as strange as ever, and Lakshmi offers an apology, and is the end of the Endless Night in sight? Well, today I'm going to go over all of the Splicer story week 8 details, so if you can't experience it in-game, well, then you're nice and up to date. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. Well, first up this week, as always, we check in with Mithrax at the Splicer servitor, who's got some news about the location of Quria.
The light is fading, Guardian. We know the name of the sickness in the heart of the network. Quria strangles the light. It does not bend it as we Splicers do, but twists it, shatters it, and pushes the shards through the skin of reality. It is forcing its terrors upon us. And if it succeeds, there will be nothing left. No Splicer could stand before a being of such power. But then, you Guardians are like no Splicers before you. Charge your gauntlet, focus your mind, and walk further into the light than ever before. For us all. For everything. Please.
Well, there's a warning there from Mithrax about the light is fading, and that leads us through the override activity and then the final corrupted expunge mission, and Osiris has some interesting comments as we first go in.
When you first stole into this realm, I did not believe you could achieve what you have. Invading a domain of Vex consciousness like this. Yet, here you are. Embodiment of the impossible. Somehow, in spite of everything you've accomplished, I managed to underestimate you. I won't make that mistake again.
Well, Osiris saying there, I will not underestimate you again. It's very shifty, especially given the ongoing speculation he could be Savathun's puppet. Well, on completing the corrupted expunge, the path is clear to Quria. So the new Delphi mission opens up, which is a combination of parts of the other expunge missions, with a Quria battle at the end.
Unbelievable. Quria is gone.
A great evil vanquished. A deed of legends. I knew it! I knew we could do this! Congratulations, Guardian! This victory is monumental!
Let's not uncork every bottle of champagne in the city just yet.
Osiris is right. This is a monumental victory for humanity and Elixir. But it's a battle, not the war.
Even so, victories should be cherished.
Yes, Mithrax is correct. We will have a party, a celebration. A small one, respectful, very classy. I will wear a suit.
Well, the Guardians are quick to celebrate, but I'm not really sure that Quria is dead. Well, it looked like it, but the battle itself was pretty easy, and perhaps the taken Vex mind made an escape. So looking at the death animation of Quria, it's almost like an escape rather than a death. We're going to have to wait and see what happens in the coming weeks. I don't think the story for Season of the Splicer is over just yet, given we've got one more lore page to collect. Well, next up, we go and have a chat with Ikora, who's got some news on the Endless Night and the role of the Splicers, and also a clue to what Osiris is up to.
Finding Quria at the center of the Endless Night confirms our worst suspicions. It was the arm Savathun used to strangle our city. With it docked, to borrow an Elixni term. We purged Savathun from the Vex domain. I only hope we stopped her in time. The Dreaming Mind's defeat, as with so many things Vex, is a process. It will take time for Mithrax and his Splicers to finish untangling our reality from the Vex network. In the meantime, Osiris is focused on collecting all the data we have on Savathun, separating small truths from the many layers of lies. Everything she does is for a reason, even if it seems beyond our comprehension. I want to know what she hoped to gain. I thought I might ask Lakshmi for her assistance, but that device she uses. By Osiris's description, it's used to align one's consciousness with other temporal realities, and has driven many war cultists insane. The visions it shows her, they cloud her judgment. Even now, she believes the Elixni will be the cause of some great catastrophe. Osiris seems to think he can get through to her. He understands the technology. He understands her perspective, but I can only give him so much time.
Well, after speaking to Ikora, we're directed to speak to Lakshmi 2 in the helm, who offers us some rare praise for our recent actions.
Oh, Guardian. I wanted to be among the first to send my regards. Your victory today has lifted a great weight from my chest. I feel like I can breathe again. I hope you're not too proud to accept my praise. Even though we may not see eye to eye. Pride is a dangerous affliction. It is clear Ikora suffers from it. And yes, I know, I do as well. Do you see? I can admit when I am wrong. Which is more than I can say for some of our current leaders. The city deserves someone who acts, someone who does what is right, even if it is unpopular. After all, you destroyed Quria against the wishes of countless Vex. You did what had to be done to protect your city. You acted bravely. I admire you for that. You and I, we will speak more when this ugliness is behind us. After the Fallen have returned to space, and this endless night is a memory. Our city could use more heroes.
And finally, we chat to Mithrax, who's very optimistic about the future.
Quria is no more. The threads of its influence lay limp across the weft of this reality. I thought its defeat would have driven the endless night from our skies. We must trust it will fade instead. Fitting, as the distrust between my people and yours will not vanish in a single act, but slowly, over time. We, everything, can begin to heal. You have united us in your light, Guardian. It was my honor to watch you grow into a sacred Splicer. Though this journey may be over, I hope we can still walk together. We will have a beautiful sunrise.
Well, one more interesting and I think important point this week. We got a new lore page from the Beneath the Endless Night lore book, and this one is titled 9 Prediction. In the days that followed Curia's defeat, the sky lightened, and so did the city's mood as the endless night began to slowly lift. Lakshmi too stood high on the city walls, watching adventurous citizens mingle with the Elixni, and she focused her attention on an Elixni peddler who had fashioned several small robots from discarded scrap. A small gaggle of children stood across the way, clearly interested in the robots as they moved aimlessly, but too frightened to approach. Lakshmi knew that the peddler would sell one of the robots, but none of the scrap, and end the day discouraged. It's a bright new day, she thought. It's a bright new day, a deep voice called out. Lakshmi turned to see the former warlock Osiris striding along the wall towards her. What a strange choice of words, Lakshmi answered. The darkness is closer than ever, and in the darkness it's sometimes difficult to tell friend from foe. She remembered this conversation from her time in the device. Many of the potential futures it showed her led to this moment. Osiris was growing predictable. It is, Osiris said, and in the darkness it's hard to tell friend from foe. Lakshmi smiled inwardly. They were still well within the standard deviation. I'm surprised to hear you say that, Osiris. You're normally blessed with such uncommon clarity. My perspective has changed since I lost the light, Osiris began slowly. Time is suddenly finite. It makes everything seem more changeable. And if my perception can change, perhaps my enemies can as well. The folly of mortality, Lakshmi gestured to the scene below. Those people could never understand time as we do, Osiris. You've peered beyond the veil. You've seen the Vex simulation stretching endlessly. You understand that history is changeable, but also inevitable. I used to be certain of that, he agreed, but now I have to wonder, if history is inevitable, why am I constantly surprised? Lakshmi chuckled. She had heard his comment before, of course, but her premonition had not quite adequately conveyed his fortuitousness. And what do you think, Osiris? Will this bright new day last? She nodded towards the Lakshmi settlement. Or you meant to share the light with the fallen? As if you would know, she thought. You no longer deal in predictions. I've given up on prediction, Lakshmi. I put my fate in the hands of the traveller, now more than ever. He gave a sidelong glance. What do you say? Is this a new dawn? Lakshmi recalled the vision she had so fervently sought within the device, the realization of her righteous victory over the Lakshmi, historical and preordained all at once. Her life's work crawling minute by minute from the future into the present. No, she replied. This is just a flash of lightning before the coming storm. Well, great stuff here from the lore this week, and it hints that Lakshmi knows more than she's letting on. I don't really think this is the end of the story. I do think, however, we got a few weeks break as we've got the Solstice of Heroes, and I think the Guardians are going to be celebrating during that time. And then we have the epilogue starting on August the 10th. And I do believe there's a sting in the tail for the season, given we've got more lore to find in Season of the Splicer. Well, I did put out a video recently about how to get the Splicer title, and I think in the last 24 hours I've had loads of questions about how to find that final page and complete the lore. So I don't know for sure, but I do think we've got one final battle to close out the season, and then we'll get that lore and be able to complete the Splicer title. But I do appreciate all the questions in the comments. Please do keep them coming. Well, let me know down in the comments what you think of the latest story developments in Season of the Splicer. Do you think we've killed Quria? And what does this mean for the Endless Night? And also the Dreaming City? But do try to avoid data mine spoilers if you can. Let's try and keep it to what is in the game. Well, that is it for this recap of the Splicer Story Week 8 developments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. See you soon.